Hey guys, it's Aiden from Amarna Studios. Today, I'm going to be showing you how I threw a DIY clothing workshop in my studio. This is something I've wanted to do for a while just to kind of celebrate this space and all of the renovations and upgrades I've made since moving in here. I really want everything to look good, so there's still some stuff I need to do before the event. The first thing I needed to address were these racks. I use these racks to house a bunch of the stuff in my studio, but I really just feel like it's kind of like an eyesore just having them exposed. So I definitely want to cover those up for the event. So how do we do it? Since I'm just going to leave it up for one day just for the event, I'm not really too worried about having a permanent uh, kind of way to hang it. It'll probably come down after the event. So here on this wall above the door, you see a conduit used for housing wiring. On the other side, over here, we have the bathroom wall. So these two things are almost level, but I think it should be fine for curtains and it'll work for the event. So my plan is to use some sort of pole or rope and hang it across from the conduit to the bathroom wall and then hang the curtains from that. And that way the curtains can be open and closed. I can still grab stuff out of there if I need to, or I can close them up and have it just be covered. All right, that doesn't sound so bad, but we should probably figure out what we're going to use to actually connect the conduit to the bathroom wall. I ended up finding this rubber track with little plastic hangers on it that kind of move along the track, so we can hang the curtains from those, and then we can connect the conduit to the wall with the rubber. I thought this was kind of a solid option since it didn't have to last that long and it would be gone in a couple days. So once the track arrived, something I didn't anticipate was that it would be rolled up when it was shipped to me, and that meant I had to basically flatten it out. So I did this by placing weights on each end and just leaving it overnight and turning it over back and forth, and also just bending it a lot until I got it to a place that I was happy with. Okay, so now it was actually time for me to put this thing up. I started with the rubber strip, connecting it to the bathroom wall by using a metal clamp drilled to a piece of wood. I know, pretty professional, but it'll work for the day, so I'm not too worried about it. Okay, so after I got everything up on the bathroom, I actually had to put the plastic hangers on the track. So I loaded all of those on, and then it was on to this side. I don't even really want to show you how I connected this to the conduit, but here it is. Anyway, with everything all connected, it was actually looking pretty straight. So I was pretty surprised. All right, so we got this hung up. It kind of looks all right. It's just going up for the night, so it should be fine. But we got it all set up, and now we're gonna move on to setting up the canvas. I went ahead and counted, so there's even amounts of the hangy things on both sides. So we need to put 20 holes in the top of both of these canvas, and then we can hang it up, see if it supports the weight, which I really hope it can. Otherwise, I'm fucked. So yeah, let's do it. So moving on to the curtains. For the curtains, I tried to find the best option that gave me the most coverage across and also would look kind of cool. I ended up ordering these canvas drop cloths off of Amazon, which worked perfectly. Okay, so I took these drop cloths and I began poking holes into it where the hangers would kind of go through. And after I finished one side, I thought, why not put it up, just kind of see how it looks. So I put one side up and the rubber strip started drooping significantly, which was scary. So I ended up putting a center support in, and this will just be where the curtains will meet. Okay, so with one side fully done, it was time to move on to the next curtain. And for these, I basically just repeat the process and get it all hung up. All right, so curtains are up. Honestly, doesn't look too bad. They should stay up, should not fall. I'm probably gonna trim the bottoms just so they like kind of hang just above the ground. But yeah, other than that, I think it's gonna work perfect for one day. Yeah, so I'm pretty happy with how this turned out. And then to finish these off, I trimmed the bottom so that they hang just above the floor. And I adjusted the tension of the rubber strip so that it stayed straight. And here's how it turned out in the end. So that's all set up. One other thing that I've always wanted to do since I moved in here was paint a mural or just kind of like more decoration overall. It's kind of bland, so we're working on that. But for now, I think we're just going to start with a mural. So I really wanted to paint the logo on the wall and I wanted it to just be huge. So I'm going to use the wall across from the curtains actually, and I'm going to project the image of the logo onto the wall, trace it out with pencil, and then we'll go ahead and go over it in paint. So we have the image projected on the wall. I think it's a pretty decent size, and I'm like happy with the placement and everything. I'm using a projector and I'm screen mirroring off of my laptop. The setup's pretty jank. It's on a table on a stool on some boxes. So yeah, so not my best setup with the projector either, but it worked. Yeah, so we're just gonna jump into this. I got the ladder and then I'm just gonna outline in pencil. And then once we're done with that, I can move on to painting. But I can see everything pretty good, so I don't have to turn off the lights, which is nice. But yeah, let's see how long this takes. Anyway, with that all set up, it was time to actually move on to tracing the logo. This was pretty easy. It just took a while, maybe like an hour. But I was able to leave on the lights, which was cool, and I just did it all with a pencil. Okay, so just finished outlining everything. Honestly, that went a lot faster than I thought. So then it was time to actually paint all of the stuff in. But first I had to actually go get the paint, which I had never done before. I've never bought paint at like Home Depot or anything. I was kind of expecting it to be like the screen printing shop where they just have rows and rows of ink colors. But as I was looking through the aisle, they were all just like the different finishes. Because you have to go get it mixed. So I ended up going with a matte finish and I had the mix just matte black for me. I thought the matte black would kind of look good when it was all dry. I also thought it would kind of match the current finish of the paint on the walls. While I was out, I also picked up a couple paintbrushes. I got one like medium-sized one, a small brush, and then a small roller, as well as like a tray. Onto the painting. I had asked my friend Naveed to come through and help, which he was down. So big shout out to Naveed for helping out. I figured we would knock it out pretty fast, but what sucked was I only got one small brush and like one medium brush. And there's a lot of like really small details in the logo. So it got to a point where it was like only one of us could really do something. I think we finished in like 2 hours, but it looks really good. I'm so happy with how it turned out, like actually. So I'm really glad we got to do that. When my two main goals finished for the event, it was time to move on to setting everything up because there was only 2 days before the event. Basically, it was a lot of taking stuff down from the racks, moving stuff around, and then like cleaning. My plan for the event was to have a live printing station, an embroidery station, a patch and button station, as well as food and drinks. So the press would stay where it is, off in the corner with the flash and the dryer, and the embroidery machine would also kind of stay where it was. We would set up a table closing off the embroidery machine, kind of creating a little booth, and that's where the repairs, patches, and buttons would be, as well as the embroidery, so kind of all in one. And then over here, we will have the table with kind of the drinks and food. Clothing racks are going to be lined up with blanks that people can choose from for the event over here. And then a little chest set right here, because why not? Okay, so I started by sweeping and vacuuming everything up. And then I also took down tables, racks, and also blanks from the shelves. I set up the booth that was going to have the embroidery, patches, and buttons. And then I moved on to the chest set and clothing racks. So the last thing we had to set up was the projector. Now I know what you're thinking. What projector? One last minute idea I had was to have a live feed of like everyone at the event kind of projected onto the wall. I thought that would be kind of cool. It was almost so good, but we ran into a couple issues. Mainly our projector wasn't really bright enough, so you couldn't really see a lot of the image. But honestly, I'm glad we still had something. It looked pretty cool in my opinion. With everything all set up and one day until the event, all I could really do was wait. One more last minute thing I did was I designed a wine label for a wine bottle. I went to the store, got some wine, and actually made some custom wine bottles that we would be serving at the event. I'm super happy with how the event went. Here's some clips. think everyone that came really had a good time, which was kind of the most important thing. And I don't have a ton of footage from the event because I was doing the printing, but my friends luckily got a couple pictures and videos, which was really cool. Really happy with how everything turned out. It was just awesome to be surrounded by family, friends, people who just support. So I definitely want to do more events in the future because I want that to be part of Amarna too, kind of building community through creating things. Thank you to everyone who showed up. Really appreciate it. Also, I hope you like the new video format. I'm going to be trying this out a little bit more. I think it flows better and might be more enjoyable to watch. But let me know what you think down in the comments. But I'll see you guys next time. Later.